is there a silver bullet of understanding for the general recreational skier? Can you sum it up like that?
For the general recreational skier, I think it's a question of what level they're at. And as I said from the beginning, really getting people to understand skiing and helping them understand skiing is about communicating with them where they're at. So I don't think there's one single statement. But in my philosophy, skiing is about managing external forces. I try to seek external force enough to get me to turn, and then when I'm done turning, I release it. And that allows the ski to glide. All of it comes through the outside ski. All of it comes through a ski on some sort of angle.
Go back to the 80s equipment and 80s technique and similarities.
I was pretty young then, so I'm better with the 90s equipment and 90s technique.
All right, 90s equipment compared to today. Similarities, differences.
If we go back to that thing that we said is just core about skiing, it's about pressure management, it's about force management. It's not different. I'm gonna say it again, it's not different. My absolute favorite memory from Interski was the retro ski race that Josh Fogg and I podiumed at. We came in third place at Interski, the only podium event we did. But we got to the base and they gave us skis from 1978. They were pretty new, right?
Yeah.
But with new bindings on them, or modern bindings, but like 1970s skis. And okay, what's the first thing he and I both did? Oh, well, I'm gonna stand on the outside ski, tip it over, see what it feels like. Okay, now we know how much rotary to add.
Yeah.
But same damn thing. I'm trying to get the outside ski to engage with the snow. I'm trying to get the snow to push on me from the outside through the outside so that I turn. And then I use all my other skills, edging, rotary, fore-aft mechanics, to align to it. The thing that's different about the shape skis is they're easier.
Yep.
It's easier to get them to arc.
Now,
if you want to here's an example. If you want to do a pivot slip on a pair of current World Cup slalom skis and a KVC comp from 1989, you're gonna do it the same way. If you want to arc a GS turn, well, one of those is going to be a lot bigger turn than the other one, and you have more options on the newer ski than you do on the older ski. But the basic mechanics, the basic concept that I'm trying to get the snow to push on my outside ski and align to receive that force and then manipulate it, it's the same. From this perspective, it's easier to access high-level mechanics and not only high mechanics, but high-level ski performances.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it's easier on the body and muscularly easier.
It doesn't take less strength.
No, it's not less strength, not less force. I mean, you're going to get more force, more turning force through a modern ski than you will through a 210 KVC comp or VO slalom. You're not going to get as much through that because the ski doesn't bend as easily. It's not shaped the same way. You'd have to be going ridiculously fast to get that same kind of carved feeling. But it's still the same kind of, if not more, muscular effort to make that happen. There are modern skis that make it actually easier and less hard on your body, which are the wider ones, the wide floppy ones, which we see all the straight lining in.
Yes.
Those people are not requiring a lot of muscular effort. But that ski is not designed to give you the same kind of access to high-end ski performances. It's designed to flop around and go sideways. Yeah. Or float in powder. I tend to teach people to have a degree of separation in transition because it promotes release and it gives the time, it promotes an earlier release, greater glide. I don't mean full separation, but I mean like pelvis and upper body are facing the direction of the new apex of the turn, whatever, right? They're basically following the path of the center of mass. The legs follow the path of the ski. So at that point of release where I don't need a bunch of power, I want that first. Yeah. And then as we use tactical things to say, okay, I want to drive the ski more at this point. I want to let the ski glide more. I want to tighten the radius at the top of the new turn, things like that. Then we start exploring different mechanics. My baseline is this baseline where the path of the skis follow the path of the path of the legs follow the path of the skis, and the path of the pelvis to the head follow the pelvis to the shoulders follow the path of the center of mass, and the head is actually further turned inside to be looking ahead of where you're going to go, right? So, but along the arc. And if I can get that as a baseline mechanic, then we can manipulate from there. A lot of ski pants have belts, right? Mine do. And I want to take, and I'm trying to do something rotationally with the hip. Like, so I'm trying to, let's say here's my angle, right? And I'm stacked up. Don't want to be there, right? I don't want to be here. I want to be lined up sort of just outside the direction of travel.
Right.
And I might take the belt buckle and align that. I'm very careful with my words. You're never going to hear me talk about pressing on the outside ski.
Okay. Yeah.
I align to the outside ski to receive.
And
the force comes from through the snow. So it's about an angular alignment of the body, not to push yourself in, but to align yourself to the, if this is my platform, I'm aligning myself to the outside
100%.
So that I can receive. Like if I was
waiting for us to start using the chairs.
I'm not going to do, this isn't where I'm trying to go, right?
No, that's right.
But if I take that same angle, it looks like this from my actual intention.
Exactly.
Right? That doesn't look very, it's not very accurate, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Of course.
It's not about moving the hip in.
I've posted photos of that very thing.
As I release the edges, my inertia and gravity takes me to the inside.
Yes.
I'm actually working things to the out to receive pressure. Now we're talking about, in this case, that's my right leg, so we're talking about a left turn.
And you know, no, absolutely, absolutely. And it is the shortening of that inside.
To pull it up.
That's right.
Yeah. Instead of just the leg shorter, I think of the entire inside half going up.
Yes.
Right? If I take my inside half and go up, it actually goes out because the pelvis tilts, right?
Yes.
And then I get some lateral separation out of that.
And if we're talking with lower levels, are you going to want to talk so edge dominant?
Yes, because it's in the context of pressure.
For you, let me ask, are you placing pressure as the utmost premium?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes!
Skiing don't work without it. Pressure's the sum of it. Let's think of it this way. If I just said to begin with, skiing is about force management, external management.
Yeah.
How do we experience the external force? We experience it in the form of pressure pushing against the bottom of your foot and the left one when you go right. It's always there.
I mean, when I was trying out for the national team, discovering a better basic parallel, pressure was the key for me with blending with my rotary.
Has to be there.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've discovered a basic parallel turn.
Totally.
And
You're in a basic parallel turn, it's all the same stuff as a carved turn. You're just not going fast enough with a high enough with a critical edge angle to let the ski carve. So you continue to pull the ski inside of its arc to some degree. You do that through turning, well, whatever parts you want. I personally would prefer to do that with my lower body, so the femurs and lower legs, more than anything else.
Could we make that silver bullet understanding pressure earlier?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
earlier. So, you know, from the wedge, that from early on, understanding more the foot to foot and how all that applies.
Conceptually, as like a giant silver bullet, like the silver nuclear bomb, like that covers everything. Yes, if your context of skiing is edging is the most important thing, you're only going to get so far, and you're going to end up with these bizarre, contrived, contorted angles that put you far inside of the end of the turn, and really your skiing is going to be limited for how far you can go. I've got friends who believe that all advanced skiing has a really high edge angle, and they're very high level, and when they ski bumps, they have a really hard time.
Exactly.
Right? So it's clearly that is not a strong unilateral statement, right?
Agreed.
I've got friends who believe that all great skiing has strong rotational movements. Well, they do great bumps. They have a really hard time with certain archetype turns. So clearly that doesn't work. But the ski only turns when the snow pushes against it in the direction that you wish to turn. That means that if you're going to the right, the snow is coming from the left, the pressure is coming from the left to the right through the left foot. And if we understand that that's the foundation, that what we're trying to do is manage how much of that pressure, what we do with it, then everything else rolls up to that. And if that's the context that, like, I guess it's a silver bullet if somebody has a context of edging, if somebody has a context that it's all about lateral balance, it's all about fore-aft, it's all about, it should be closer, but it's all about rotational. If that's their context, they're limited. If their context is, I'm trying to receive something from the snow and have a conversation with it and then direct that conversation somewhere, we're on the right track for details.